Imagine that right beneath your feet, under the familiar asphalt or in a dense forest, there could be cars holding pieces of history. One of the most famous discoveries is the story of the 1957 Plymouth Belvedere, buried in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This car was turned into a sort of time capsule. It was buried underground to commemorate the state's 50th anniversary, with plans to open it in 2007. The Plymouth was placed in a concrete sarcophagus, and its trunk was filled with items from that era, including letters, records, and symbols of American culture. However, when the car was dug up after half a century, the expectations were not met. The ceiling of the concrete shelter turned out to be insufficient, and moisture got inside. The Plymouth suffered greatly from corrosion. Its body was almost completely rusted out, and the interior was ruined. Nevertheless, the find became a symbol of the times, generating great interest among historians and car enthusiasts alike. She recalled how people saw the future and what was important for them to preserve. In Iowa, a similar story unfolded, one that would make a great plot for a car show. An American bought an abandoned farm at auction. Among its ruins, in a dilapidated garage, he stumbled upon a real treasure, a Jaguar 2 Malawian Quacha sedan. An American bought an abandoned farm at auction. Among its ruins in the dilapidated garage, he stumbled upon a real treasure, a Jaguar 2 Malawian Quacha sedan. This iconic model has been in production since 1959, and the found specimen, judging by the remaining sticker, was restored in 1983. Even though the car spent a long 36 years in the garage, it surprisingly held up really well. A special surprise was the stock polished hubcaps, which were peacefully resting in the trunk, as if waiting for their moment. Under the hood of the Jaguar 2 Malawian Quachas is a powerful 3.8-liter engine that delivers 223 horsepower. Such a condition for a car with that kind of history is a real rarity. Perhaps this Jaguar will find new life in the hands of an enthusiast. What happens to a car that has been buried underground for decades? The answer depends on a lot of factors: the conditions of the burial, the surrounding environment, and the time spent under the ground. In most cases, such cars suffer severe damage. Corrosion is the main enemy of metal. If a car was in a high-humidity environment, the metal parts turn into a rusty mass, losing their shape and strength. The pressure of the soil, especially at great depths, leads to the deformation of the body. The doors, hood, and trunk lose functionality, and the glass shatters. Soil and dust fill crevices, deteriorating the interior. Upholstery and soft materials break down due to moisture, mold, and bacteria. Proximity to tree roots, rocks, or landslides causes mechanical damage. Rarely, a car is better preserved. If the vehicle has been near tree roots or exposed to rocks and landslides, mechanical damage will further worsen its condition. However, there are rare cases where a car is preserved significantly better. This can happen if the car was isolated from the external environment, for example, buried in a sealed container or concrete capsule. A dry climate can also slow down the destructive processes, minimizing the impact of moisture. This is possible if the car was isolated from the external environment, for example, buried in a sealed container or concrete capsule. A dry climate can also slow down destructive processes, minimizing the impact of moisture. So, cars found in deserts maintain their shape thanks to the lack of rain and moisture. Restoration of such finds is a complex and expensive process. In most cases, the body, interior components, and mechanisms have to be completely replaced, leaving only the original frame or a few surviving parts. Even if the car is completely destroyed, it remains a symbol of its era and a testament to history. Is it possible to bring back to life a car that has been buried underground for decades? It depends on how well the natural conditions or the care of those who buried it preserved it. Once a legendary sports car, the 1988 Lotus Esprit was left abandoned outdoors for nearly 2 decades. Its story began with a hurricane that destroyed the garage where the car was stored. Years later, a local farmer stumbled upon the car completely by chance after buying the piece of land where it had been sitting. By the time it was found, the Lotus Esprit looked pretty dismal. 2 wheels were missing, and the interior had been completely destroyed by time and the elements. However, something surprised even the seasoned farmer. 2 wheels were missing, and the interior had been completely destroyed by time and the elements. However, something surprised even the seasoned farmer. The original 2.2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine remained in place, as if holding on to memories of a time filled with speed and elegance. The farmer didn't show much interest in the rare sports car and soon sold it to a car enthusiast who decided to restore the vehicle. The new owner took on the ambitious task of restoring the Lotus Esprit to its former glory and gifting it to his son as his first car. And so the legend got a chance at a new life. In St. Petersburg, in one of the old barns, a nearly new 1999 VAZ 2104 was found. In 25 years, the car has only driven 282 kilometers, spending all that time indoors. The condition of the car is practically perfect. The body and interior are in great shape, except for a small dent on the left side. According to the current owner, the car has hardly been used since it was purchased. The station wagon is equipped with a 1.5-liter petrol engine with 71 horsepower, which makes it a real-time capsule that takes us back to the late 90s. Such finds prove that even in today's world, you can come across real gems of automotive history hidden right under our noses. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro. This legendary muscle car was found in an old barn in Texas, where it had been sitting and used since the 70s. Time has not spared its appearance. The body is covered in rust, and a serious dent is visible on the roof. The car's interior has also suffered from decades of neglect. But despite these flaws, the Chevrolet Camaro remains a desirable find for collectors. The car is equipped with the original V8 gasoline engine and a manual transmission. A true classic of American automotive history. This car is not just metal and screws, it's a story soaked in the spirit of freedom and speed. The Camaro is currently listed for sale on eBay for $30,000. For some, it will be a dream project, a chance to restore the legendary muscle car to its former glory. After all, finds like this 1969 Chevrolet Camaro are extremely rare. 1969 models are extremely rare. How do they find cars that have been buried for decades? Modern technology makes this possible even in the toughest conditions. Today, they use radars, metal detectors, and drones to search for cars hidden beneath the ground. Ground-penetrating radars have become one of the main tools for looking underground. They send out electromagnetic pulses that bounce off metal objects, helping to determine their exact location and depth. Ground-penetrating radars are especially useful in areas with dense soil or challenging landscapes where a visual inspection isn't possible. Metal detectors are crucial tools for identifying metal parts, even if a car is destroyed and scattered. They can distinguish a car from other metal objects underground by recognizing metal types. Drones enhance these capabilities. Modern metal detectors can recognize the type of metal, which allows you to distinguish a car from other metal objects buried underground. Drones add even more capabilities. Equipped with thermal imaging cameras and high-resolution cameras, they survey hard-to-reach areas like abandoned mines, forests, or landslides. Thermal imaging helps identify spots where the ground temperature varies, which can indicate the presence of hidden objects. These technologies allow for the discovery of even small parts of cars that could be the key to piecing together the whole picture. Thermal imagers help identify areas where the soil temperature differs, which may indicate the presence of hidden objects. These technologies allow for the discovery of even small parts of cars that could be the key to piecing together the whole picture. Every car that's found isn't just a discovery, it's a piece of history that, thanks to technology, becomes available for study. In the future, these search methods will become even more precise, uncovering more secrets hidden beneath the ground. Underground, they most often find vintage cars that were popular in the mid-20th century. In the future, these search methods will become even more precise, uncovering more secrets hidden beneath the ground. Underground, they most often find vintage cars that were popular in the mid-20th century. These are brands such as Ford, Chevrolet, Mercedes, and others, which at one time symbolized luxury, style, or innovation. Many of these cars were buried intentionally to preserve them for future generations, or they ended up forgotten due to circumstances. Rare models are of particular interest, as they turn into true museum pieces the moment they're found. For example, some of these cars, like the Plymouth Belvedere or the rare Bugatti, become subjects of restoration in history, drawing the attention of collectors and car culture enthusiasts. Many underground finds are tied to urban legends that have been passed down through generations. One of the most famous stories is about the Bugatti Type 57, which was supposedly hidden in Switzerland. The multi-million-dollar car has been the subject of controversy in searches, inspiring treasure hunters for years to come. In the end, the Bugatti was found, confirming the reality of the legend. Such stories not only spark interest in searching, but also preserve cultural heritage, connecting us with the past. Each car found is not just metal, but a piece of history that tells us about the time, people, and events that surrounded it. What other cars are hiding underground, waiting to be discovered? Maybe the next find will become a new legend. What value can a car that's been buried underground for decades possibly have? It turns out that even in poor condition, these finds can be worth millions of dollars. It's all about their historical or cultural significance. For example, rare models become auction items where collectors are willing to pay huge sums to get a piece of automotive history. Even if a car is destroyed by corrosion, its parts or uniqueness can still hold high value. Some cars that have become iconic for their era are restored using original parts, which further increases their value. Many of the cars found underground, especially if they are rare models or have a connection to historical events, become museum exhibits. These cars aren't just restoration projects, they bring history to life, showcasing the technology, style, and culture of their time. Museum visitors see not just the cars, but also the context surrounding them, letters, items found inside the car, and the stories that accompany each discovery. Each car that's been found is more than just a vehicle. Museum visitors see not just the cars, but also the context surrounding them, letters, items found inside the cabin, and the stories that come with each discovery. Each car that's been found is more than just a vehicle. It's a key to the past that helps us understand how people lived, what they dreamed about, and what they valued. Every car found is more than a vehicle. It's a key to the past that helps us understand how people lived, what they dreamed about, and what they valued. Maybe the next discovery will open a new chapter in automotive history. Cars end up underground due to natural events like landslides, floods, eruptions. Landslides, floods, and even volcanic eruptions can completely bury cars under tons of soil, ash, or rocks. One such example was the cars found in Italy under layers of ash and Vesuvium. These cars ended up buried as a result of natural disasters that kept them hidden from sight for decades, and sometimes even centuries. Such discoveries are not just reminders of the power of natural phenomena, but also testimonies of how disasters can instantly change the fate of people and things. Each of these cars becomes a time capsule, capturing the moment of the disaster. Why is this important? Cars found underground are more than just metal structures. They serve as a bridge between the past and the present, revealing amazing stories of people, technology, and cultural values. Every car that's been found tells the story of its time, from wars and economic crises to disasters in everyday life. These discoveries give us a chance to understand how technology evolved, what people valued in different eras, and how life changed for them. They remind us of events that could have been forgotten and inspire us to search for new mysteries of the past. What do you think might be hiding underground? Maybe the next discovery is waiting there, one that will turn our understanding of history upside down. What do you think? What other secrets might cars buried underground be hiding? Maybe they hold amazing stories about people, events, and eras that have long been forgotten. Every find is not just a car, but a key to unlocking the past, a bridge between different generations. Every discovery gives us a unique glimpse into how people lived, what they valued, and what marks they left for future generations. Do you want to be part of a team that uncovers amazing mysteries and shares inspiring content with the world? Join us. We're looking for talented people who can write engaging scripts, voice over videos, or edit footage. Message our Telegram bot and let's create content together that surprises, inspires, and delights millions of people. Let's make history closer and more interesting.